everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bello-Braddock.
And I'm Amelia Bello-Braddock. And today, Disney's Blizzard Beach finally reopens, and Walt Disney World has a Thanksgiving food guide.
Yes, now it's been sort of this or that with Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. Typhoon Lagoon, I think, is closed now.
Oh, wow.
Or will be soon. I don't know.
Perfect timing.
But Blizzard Beach, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember. I thought I knew that. But Blizzard Beach is reopening on November 13th. Finally, it is my favorite of the two.
No.
You still prefer Typhoon
Incorrect.
Lagoon?
That is wrong. If it didn't have Summit Plummet, would it still be your favorite?
No.
Exactly. It can't all just rest on one thing, which you'll never go on because the line is 4 hours long.
Oh, it can, and we'll get to that in a minute. But it's sort of weird because just in time for winter, they're opening the water park.
It's very on theme.
It is on theme, you know, Blizzard Beach, obviously winter, but it's not really Florida weather friendly all the time through the winter, as they close it, I think, around 65 degrees and the pools for that matter. But anyway, it's reopening for the holiday season, as Disney says.
Yeah, but you have to remember, it's Florida. Their weather's still like in the 80s, and we're over here in the 60s.
But the big change is, you know, we talked about this on a past episode, how Disney is slowly but surely retheming everything that didn't already have a direct Disney character or movie theme into character, just like they did with Meisner's Lounge is now the Enchanted Rose, and we gave a lot of examples in that episode. Well, Blizzard Beach not spared from this trend.
Can you guess?
Yeah.
Is quite possibly the most obvious.
Let's see. What popular Disney would have winter in it?
I don't know. It's pretty tricky.
Well, I'm sure you've guessed if you haven't heard. Frozen has, I won't say taken over, but
I will.
But certainly wound its way into Blizzard Beach, and I don't like this, to be honest. Do you?
It's not necessary. Why are we doing this? It's almost like they're leaving it wrong now, because the whole point of the movie was that it was frozen and then they thawed it. So
yeah,
now it's resolved. Why are we frozen again?
That it was a ski resort that thawed and then they turned it into a water park. Well, now we're sticking Frozen characters all through it. So it's the same point I made in that episode. You don't have to bang everything over the head this way. It already was a Disney thing. Everything doesn't have to be related to a Disney movie, for goodness sakes. But anyway, it is. So some of these are okay. So the first one, Tike's Peak, which is the kiddie area.
Yeah, they've kind of ruined this one. They now have an Anna and Elsa igloo castle, a wading pool with Olaf.
Yeah, you know, there's slide. This is the kiddie area of Blizzard Beach, and it used to just be sort of winter themed.
It was really fun with the zip line.
Yeah, the little
now
zip line.
It's probably
now they got all these frozen
marshmallow zip line.
Yeah, they've got those little characters like all through it. But they're also doing some stuff for the holiday season, which is okay, right? So
that's different. That's not a permanent retheme, though.
They've got the Orange Bird DOLE Whip, but there's a Peppermint Milkshake, so that's sort of good.
Oh, goody.
And then, you know, sort of a merry atmosphere. And I do like the daily snowfall. So they're sort of taking the snow on Main Street and putting snow on Blizzard Beach, so that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that's on brand.
And there will be holiday music and, you know, all that sort of festive inner tubes, so some specially designed inner tubes. And then Santa will be there, dressed in his tropical gear.
Oh, yes. I'm really interested to see that, actually. What is Santa's tropical gear?
You know, as you mentioned, you know, he's probably in shorts.
What does that entail?
Means he's got his shorts and a Hawaiian shirt on, I'm guessing.
Probably.
But the real best part of all about Blizzard Beach is Summit Plummet, if you have not been on it, without question, is the scariest ride at Walt Disney World. Forget all these mid-level coasters that we love, like Rock and Roller Coaster and all that. Summit Plummet, not only is it the scariest, it is the fastest ride at Disney World. At one point, not that long ago, it was one of the top scariest and fastest water slides in the world. Not just around here. It still is in Orlando by a long shot, but you go almost straight down. And I'm telling you, it is that moment where you teeter over the edge and your feet are sticking out and then you suddenly go down. It is scary. It's truly scary, and it's fast. It's faster than rockin'. It's faster than anything in the parks.
That's a lot shorter than rockin', but
That's very short, which some people like. So that is back, and that is a huge, obviously the main draw. It does get lines, of course. So if you want to ride Summit Plummet,
please go early.
Rope drop it. You know, we use the same strategy for water parks as we do in the parks. Just get there early.
Because like Summit Plummet will have hours long lines. People do line up for it. It is a very popular attraction. So use a similar mindset.
Yeah, and we don't stay there all day, similar to the parks. Sometimes we do. So another tip here, the polar patios are back open. If you want to upscale your Blizzard Beach experience, these are really private covered cabana areas where you can sort of rent them. I can't remember if you can do a half day or full day, but even if we paid full day, we leave it half day. And you get, there's good seating, there's refillable drinks. You have like a server who comes to bring you stuff if you want to order food or drinks.
It's quite nice because it's very shady, and Blizzard Beach especially does get very, very hot very, very quickly as the day starts to progress.
And then you can leave your stuff there and not worry about it. Although we did have, some people who don't know, there's a little rope blocking off the entrance to each one. They're sort of scattered throughout the park near the lazy river, as I recall. And, someone they take off the rope and walk in. It's like, hello, this is a private paid for patio. So maybe they have better watches on them now, but those are, in my opinion, worth the money if you want to do it. Then you can just relax. You don't have to worry about finding a sand spot or your stuff going missing or stuff like that.
Exactly.
Now, they do have new food and drink concoctions coming.
New food at Blizzard Beach includes Cajun shrimp and grits, a watermelon passion lemonade from the Lotta Wada Lounge. Returning favorites are also still there, so no need to worry. Dole Whip is back, as well as a double bacon cheeseburger, and of course, the iconic 50th Ice Dream Sand Pail Sundae.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Does it look like a sandcastle or something?
I assume it's in a pail.
Yeah, and the seasonal Dole Whips too, so that's worth trying. Now, also cool there, Toboggan Runners. Does this have a new name? I don't think that's what it was called, but it's very close to Summit Plummet.
I'm shocked it's not Frozeified.
And yeah, I know, maybe it is. We'll see. But this is where you
maybe
race.
It's Anna and Kristoff's sled races.
You race against other people, so there's like 4 or 5 or 6 lanes all together, and you go down on a water slide you're on a little mat or tube or something, and you race other people. So it's sort of fun. I don't know why they're saying get in the holiday spirit because it's just a toboggan ride. Like they call it a toboggan ride, but it does have dips, hills.
Toboggan Christmas, of course.
Yeah, you race against your family, friends, or strangers. Ooh. And then the good family ride there that everyone loves.
Teamboat Springs.
Yeah, Teamboat Springs. It's one of the longest, whitewater raft adventures in the world. Maybe longest fake whitewater raft adventure.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a adventure, more like a charted course, but it is decently immersive.
It's sort of got, your typical rapids, water spraying on you, all that sort of stuff. A lot of fun. It's like Misadventure. What's that one called?
Misadventure Falls?
Yeah, is that the one? It's very similar at Typhoon Lagoon.
That's the fun one.
And then something I have never done because I find it just to be a waste of time.
Oh, we're being blatantly honest.
Yes, is that they do have a chairlift there because remember, this was supposed to be a ski resort that turned into a water park. So if you want to get a good view and good pictures and all that stuff, you can take this chairlift.
It's fun. It's very slow, but...
Yeah, it's very slow. So, or leisurely, as they would say. It's a leisurely journey to the top of Mount Gushmore, which is where Summit Plummet is, and Slush Gusher and Teamboat Springs and all those rides, the long ones that start at the top.
I don't know how leisurely it is when you realize that the reason it's so slow is because so many kids are unable to get on it at the bottom. Maybe then it's a little bit less leisurely to imagine, but...
And then finally there's Runoff Rapids, which is, there's sort of 3 different slides, so they have twists and turns. It's pretty good. It's pretty fast, also taken from the top. So Blizzard Beach reopening on November 13th. If the weather is nice when you're there in the winter, it's definitely worth checking out. We have fun in the water park.
It's definitely a fun water park.
We never go in the winter. Even in March. I think you have gone once in March, But it's sketch weather then. I mean, for water parks for me. I don't want to go to the water park if
depends,
it's
yeah.
only 70 or 75, right?
Because then the pools need to be really heated.
It's got to be at least in the 80s for me to go to a water park.
That's just kind of a general rule for you.
All right. And then in other news, Disney has announced the International Festival of Arts dates for January 13th to February 20th in 2023.
Yes, because as we said, Epcot's always got to have a festival going on.
Epcot's always got to have a festival. Some people actually want this one to be longer.
I don't know about that. But this one runs from January 13th all the way through February 20th. And so it's just slightly over a month. And then I believe we start with Flower and Garden.
Yeah, and it's sort of Festival of the Arts, but they expand it. So visual arts, culinary arts, performing arts. So basically, it's a little bit of everything, even to the point, you'd think art, but it's not. They've got 16.
No. Everything's an art form at Disney.
16 food studios and with all sorts of menus, and, they make them works of art, of course.
I wonder how their plating is what I was just going to say.
And there's 2 new ones coming. Moderne, located near Test Track, is going to have new avant-garde items. And then another new one, Figment's Inspiration Station.
Ooh, I know we'll be stopping there.
So, yeah, there's more on those in the future, but lots of things coming at that festival. A lot of people like it. There's 100 artists showcasing their art, and you can learn to draw at the Animation Academy and leave your artwork on the Expressions section, which is a sort of paint by numbers mural, like a large wall.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice though.
And there's even a scavenger hunt, figment themed.
I still think we should try that. The Epcot scavenger hunts are
fun. They've done a pretty good job.
They're some of the better scavenger hunts.
And then they do Disney on Broadway concerts in the evening there. So lots going on. If you happen to be there, it's not just Run Disney in the spring anymore.
Epcot's a busy park.
Epcot's a busy park. And then rounding out the news this week, we are not going to be there during the Thanksgiving period. But if you are, Disney has a gigantic foodie guide. Now, we will publish the entire thing for Walt Disney World. Every hotel, every park, everything, everywhere, all the food there is, and there is a lot of it. If you want a classic turkey dinner with mashed potatoes and all that stuff, there's tons of it, but there are also some pretty cool desserts and other things. So as we do, we will highlight a few of our personal favorites. All right, I'm going to start at Beach Club Resort at Beaches and Cream, which is probably the coolest thing I have ever seen come out of that place.
It's visually very appealing. So this is the pumpkin pie shake, and it is a salted caramel milkshake with caramel drizzle, sprinkles, and an entire slice of pumpkin pie on top.
Yeah. So this is pretty much through the month of November up to the 27th.
Definitely sounds like something that came out of Beaches and Cream, I'm gotta be honest.
Yeah, a lot of these are shareable out of that place, that's for sure.
I'm sure the price will make it worthy of being shareable as well.
And then another one of our top picks over at Contempo Cafe at Disney's Contemporary Resort. They always have good stuff.
Yeah. Their desserts have been pretty good lately, especially some of their 50th things.
And again, this is one I love the looks of, but it sounds like it might actually taste good.
Delicious. So this is a pumpkin cheesecake with pumpkin spice, caramel, maple whipped cream, and fall leaf sprinkles just to make it more visually appealing. Because they're pretty good at the visuals.
Pumpkin caramel, maple, those all sound like good things. I think you'd like this one.
I would like everything on that we've highlighted.
All right, moving on to another one of our top picks. We head on over to Saratoga Springs Resort at the Artist Palette. This is one of mine. They have a fall whoopie pie. Now, I don't love whoopie pies that much, but this one...
I don't even know what that is.
It's sort of like carnival food.
Oh, yeah, enough said.
It's almost like a sandwich, but with sort of cakey stuff. So this is pumpkin cake with cream cheese buttercream and fall sprinkles. So it looks pretty good. Pure sugar, but hey, what the heck.
Hey, you're in Disney.
We're not counting calories. Double Disney or Thanksgiving. Over at Wilderness Lodge, Roaring Fork, which is actually quick service I pretty much like. They have a pumpkin mousse cake, Moose, ha ha ha, because it's Wilderness Lodge.
Wow, very clever, Disney.
This is a chocolate-dipped spice cake with milk chocolate pumpkin mousse and dark chocolate antlers. I'm going to post a picture of this one because it's Insta-friendly.
Yeah, I think Disney is definitely focusing more on making them look great, and I'm totally here for that. So now over to Disney's Yacht Club Resort at the Market Ale and Compass. We have the pumpkin cream cheese muffin. So this is a pumpkin flavored muffin.
Sounds interesting.
rich cream cheese swirl, which I assume is kind of similar to icing. It sounds pretty good.
It actually does sound pretty good.
It sounds like the flavors would mesh pretty nicely.
I'm not a huge muffin fan, but I might like that one.
I would make that a breakfast, even though it's not the healthiest thing in the world. But you know what? Whatever.
And then also at this resort at Yacht Club, at the lounges, you can try the pumpkin spice martini. So this is vanilla vodka with rum chata, which is sort of that rum cream, and pumpkin spice with graham cracker crumbs around the rim of the glass.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. I think I would have a few sips of that one.
I think I'd just take the empty glass and then fill it with Diet Coke, to be honest. But, you know.
Well, you can do that after I finish. At Tiffin's in Animal Kingdom Park, this one I chose because...
This one sounds delicious.
Yeah, but you have to see it. I don't think you've seen a picture. It's apple pie cheesecake.
And this is whipped caramel cheesecake with apple pie
compote
and white chocolate streusel and a cranberry sauce on top. It's
not on top. It's on the bottom. This one looks like an apple, like a Granny Smith apple.
Ooh.
It really does. Like, I want to see this in real life. I've only seen a photo. Obviously, it's not out yet.
This one intrigues me because it's not their usual pumpkin flavor, but it still sounds so good.
Yeah, it does look good. That is definitely one I'm interested. And then finally, one of our picks down at Disney's Vero Beach Resort, which you know we love. Amelia's going with the plain and simple at Wind and Waves Market.
Just a classic slice of pumpkin pie because Disney World has that nowhere, so of course they've got to throw it in at Vero Beach.
They must have it somewhere, but we didn't really see it anywhere on this list. It must be in, there's a lot of...
They're not advertising that because that's probably the cheapest thing.
At pretty much every place, everywhere through Thanksgiving at Disney World. Again, check our show notes or blog post. You can get a turkey dinner. Even at the quick service, there's like turkey slices with mashed potatoes and gravy and all the fixins, stuffing and all that. I
think we should make steak a universal Thanksgiving food. That's my new motion to propose.
I don't know if that'll go over. People like their traditions, especially you, for one. So hearing you say that is sort of funny. All right, that's the news for this week, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As always, follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. We will see you again next week for your 15 minutes of Disney magic here, and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.